Cecil Vinegar is about the detective who is, again, in my Godxstalker series. Cecil Vinegar is the name of this movie slash novel slash whatever else I create out of it because it's my own innovation. Cecil Vinegar is a detective. I'm trying to think about where I want him to come from. I don't know if I want to finalize him being from London, England somewhere, or what I want to do. But he's a detective, a wealthy detective. He has money. He's the one who kind of has Basil Rivers in a 9-to-5 like concept, driving him crazy. You'll see him inside of probably maybe all of them, all of the series, maybe with the exception of Razor, Public Razor at this point, possibly. I don't know, maybe I'll slide him in there too. But he's a sex-craved, manipulative SOB for the most part. And he thinks he can box with King Samuel Poem in life. And I think he believes that because of his privilege, because of what he's been given, that gives him some type of authority to be able to walk through King Samuel Poem. So in this cat and mouse process, he realizes that he has taken advantage of not only American men, but American women from a sexual standpoint, as well as a financial standpoint. And what he did to Basil Rivers was hold him, for the most part, hostage in a bad contract, like what you do with an indentured servant, for 7 years or so. This nearly caused Basil Rivers to want to commit suicide. But that's inside of the Basil River. But this is the type of individual Cecil Vinegar is. He doesn't really care. I don't know, what do they call it? Is it narcissistic? I don't know. When somebody doesn't care about somebody else's feelings, he lacks emotion sometimes, an emotional tie with other people and what they're going through. So this is who the character is. So you'll get a chance to follow Cecil Vinegar in these exchanges. Like I told you, all this is a short period of time, so I have an active lifestyle for all of them, where there'll be interventions and things like that. But in my Godxstalker series, King Samuel Poem had already disappeared by this Cecil Vinegar process. So if you haven't seen the other ones, just know that King Samuel Poem disappeared. People want tons of background information, so I'll try to make sure that I load each one of them with background information, just briefly go over it, try to keep everybody abreast in case you haven't seen any of the other stuff or haven't read any other ones. But Cecil Vinegar, again, is a detective and some type of like European descent police officer, so to speak, who wants to impose justice. But then once he learns that his weight, he can throw it around, now he begins to take advantage of women who are lonely, and women who have low self-esteem, and women who are just interested in the colorfulness of Cecil Vinegar. And this type of confidence now makes him believe that he can do the ultimate assignment, which is go out and find King Samuel Poem. So the world wants to hire him as his guideline or his objective, because he's successful, undefeated in his situations in terms of discovering what he's searching for. So he thinks it's not going to be any problem. Find King Samuel Poem, who sends him on a goose chase, and then finally has him closed off, where they get a chance to have an opportunity to have a face-to-face dialogue. Now here's where the mysterious part of the story continues, and the provocativeness and the suspense and the romance and all that type of stuff takes a turn for either the worst or the best, depending on the way you see it. So I had a perspective of, you can have one situation, somebody's purse gets snatched. Some people see it as a bad thing, some people see it as a good thing. The person for sure who sees it as a good thing per se is a person who might not have anything, who runs off and now they have something. Some people don't care because they're indifferent. They still have a detached emotional standpoint. So don't think that everybody agrees to the same situation, because they don't. So Cecil Vinegar helps to expose people who are emotionless versus people who have emotion. So you'll get a chance to see that in Cecil Vinegar. It's the emotionless versus the emotion.